I am going to talk about meditation. We all know that meditation is great. Everybody says meditation is great, so it must be great, right? Well, more importantly, I say that meditation is great. I meditate a lot. I meditate every day, 15 minutes in the morning, and then again throughout the day as I have time. So it's good. Um, there's a lot of research that shows that it can be very good for you. There's some research showing that 5 minutes of meditation every day can have the same cognitive benefits as a day of vacation. We all hate work. We all know that we shouldn't have to work, but we do. So meditation is something that can help us get through that. I meditate for reasons other than just relaxation, but meditation is something that many people use simply for relaxation, and they find that very helpful for them. So there's lots of different kinds of meditation. I do Zazen or Zen meditation, and so that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit here. Or at least how I do Zazen. I'm not like a Zen master, so obviously I'm not here to teach you Zen. But I'm going to talk about how I meditate. What was I going to say next? Well, there are different kinds of meditation. A lot of people like guided meditation and find that very helpful. The research suggests that guided meditation is not as effective as Vispayana meditation or Zazen, which I'm going to talk about today again. Mostly because there are different levels of cognitive power that we're putting into things. So with guided meditation, we are focusing on a voice, we're hearing things, we are constantly stimulated. And that's why people like guided meditation, because the added stimulation makes it easier to keep on track, to keep yourself in meditation. Other forms of meditation that are not guided are much more difficult because we don't have a baseline of stimulation around us that is keeping our brain stimulated and interested in what we're doing. It takes a lot more, for lack of a better word, discipline to be able to meditate without guidance. But because we are able to withstand the lack of stimulation once we learn how to do it, it actually goes further for us. We get more benefits from it. It helps us to excuse me. It helps us to withstand discomfort in our daily life. It helps us to think with a more clear head. Overall, it's just a lot better for you. Now, there's nothing wrong with guided meditation. If you can't do other kinds of meditation, then guided meditation may work for you and it may help you relax. You may not carry the benefits as far as you would with Zazen or Vispayana or whatever you want to do. But it's certainly something that you can do to relax, and if that works for you, you should absolutely do that. But you might want to try another kind of meditation in addition to that. So most people think of meditation as this straight line, pretend that's straight for me, where this straight line represents non-thinking. When you are on this line, there are no thoughts whatsoever. You are not thinking, you are a fucking rock. And so this conceptualization of meditation is one of the reasons why so many people can't stand meditation. Because they come in and they're here and they're just thinking, all these thoughts are coming up, and they say, oh shit, I am bad at this. I cannot meditate. I should just give up. This sucks. I feel really bad because I can't do this. All I have to do is sit there and I'm fucking it up. Good job, me. But this conceptualization is wrong. Because we are alive, because we are humans, because we have brain activity, we are always going to have thoughts come up. No matter what you do, thoughts are going to come up. Maybe thoughts won't come up for 10, 20 seconds if you're lucky, but that takes forever before you get there. And thoughts are going to come up again soon. So this line is impossible. We cannot stay at this line. If you're trying to, then you are dooming yourself to failure. You are absolutely lost. So when we sit to meditate, a thought comes up. And that thought says, I'm hungry. And then we have another thought that is, what am I going to eat? I wonder if I have food at home. I wonder if I can afford food. So on and so forth. When am I going to get over with meditation so I can get my fucking lunch, etc., etc. So we can't help ourselves from having thoughts. But what we can do is let go of the thoughts, to return to this line. So when we realize that we're thinking, we're off on like the 23rd bubble. But when we realize that we're thinking, we can take that bubble and we can stab it and it'll pop. And then we come straight back down to this line. And then we're at non-thinking again for however long. And then another thought comes up and you continue on with that. And when you're starting out, sometimes you'll get to 4, sometimes you'll get to 5, 6, 7, 8, 30. Who knows? Before you realize. But the point is that when you do realize that you're thinking, you want to pop that bubble and return to the line. Even if it takes you 30 bubbles before you do it, that's fine. Because the more you do that, the sooner you'll be able to do it in the future. So 30 bubbles now, 28 bubbles in a week, 10 bubbles in a month. And you get better. It is a practice. This is a practice. And this is the mental posture of Zazen. Letting go of thoughts. Sometimes, you get tired, you start to fall asleep because you're meditating and you feel comfortable. At the Zendo, we sit in front of a wall so that if we do fall asleep, we hit our head on the wall, and everyone tries not to laugh. That's not the only reason we do it, but it's funny. Don't do that; you'll hurt yourself. Unless you want to. You can if you want to. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But so sometimes you fall asleep, and then you start dreaming or whatever. In the same way, you want to realize that this is happening and just return to that line. That is the mental posture here. That is what we want to do. Now, one of the great things about this is that you can use this letting go of thoughts outside of meditation. Meditation is the best place to cultivate this, Zazen is, but you can do this anywhere. And I know y'all have all kinds of annoying thoughts that bother you, thoughts that you don't want to have. But you're going to have them, so you can't stop yourself from having them, so you just got to be able to let go of them. And now you're saying, why is it so hard to let go of thoughts? I can't do that, but you can. There is a secret to this. And the secret is that most of these thoughts that you can't let go of are because you are attaching value statements to them. You're judging these thoughts. You are having a thought that says, Hillary Clinton is thick, or I want to die. Both of these, one may come before the other, in that order perhaps, likely. And so you have these thoughts and you're attaching all of these things to this bubble. You are attaching handles to this bubble and you are refusing to let go of this bubble. You are attaching the handle of bad thought. I shouldn't have this thought. This is a bad thought to have. What is wrong with me having this kind of thought? I'm supposed to be meditating. How can I think of something so horrible? Stop. It's not a bad thought. This thought coming up, this right here, this process, it's no different from the fucking wind blowing through the branches. It is the same thing. A thought is happening. Just let go of it. You hear cars in the distance. You don't pay attention to that. It's the same thing. The only difference is that you're not attaching the same shit you are to the cars that you are to your thoughts. And that's why some thoughts are easier to get rid of. I want to die is we are attaching a lot more emotional charge and value charge to the thought of I want to die than we are to I'm hungry. And so we hold on to that thought as tightly as we can, and we're not going to let go of it. If we can, we're going to handcuff ourselves to that thought. Like it's a fucking nuclear button. But we can't do that if we want to meditate, if we want to be able to let go of our thoughts. So again, we have to be mindful. We have to recognize that we're doing this, and we have to intentionally let go of that judgment. We have to tell ourselves that this is not a bad thought, it is just a thought. I may not like the thought, but it's not bad. And when we start to be able to do that, and again, it's a practice, as you do it, you'll be able to do it sooner in the future. As you do that, then you start to let go of the thoughts, because you let go of the fact that you think it's a bad thought, and then it's just a bubble, and you can pop it. Easy. Simple. Nice and simple. So that's what you do with your thoughts, with your brain. Just think less. The next part of meditation is what do we focus on when we are trying to meditate? Some people use guided meditation so that they have something to occupy their focus, their concentration. In Zazen and in many other kinds of meditation that aren't guided, we focus on our breath. And there are two techniques that we generally use. The first one is following the breath, where as we exhale, we exhale a number, and we count from 1 to 10. And when we reach 10, we start over at 1, because we don't want to keep counting, because then we're timing ourselves. We don't want to actually keep count. We just want to count from 1 to 10. And so we do that inside of ourselves. We do that internally. I'll demonstrate externally so that you understand what I'm saying. It's like 1, 2, so on and so forth. You get to 10, you start over. You hold the number throughout the entire exhale. And you don't try to force yourself to breathe slowly or deeply. You just let yourself breathe. It's not intentional breathing. You are not manually breathing. You are breathing like normal. You are just being mindful of the breathing. And as you exhale, you are counting. You are following that breath. The other technique that is often used is counting the breath. And so as you exhale, you count the beats. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on and so forth. Every breath you start over, every exhale, you just do it again. I don't like that personally. It doesn't work for me. Maybe it'll work for you. It does work for many people. It's just not mine. And we want to breathe with our abdomen, with our hara. And so one of the ways you can train yourself to do that is to put your hand around your abdomen, around here. This is also called yoga breathing, diaphragm breathing, I'm sure you've heard of it. The easiest way to start practicing that, well, first of all, you want to do that because if you don't, there's a lot of air in your lungs that isn't getting pushed out because you're breathing with the top of your lungs, your chest. When you breathe with your diaphragm, you push that air out, and it helps to keep your body with fresh air, which is good for you. So anyways, you can put your hand around right here. When you breathe in, when you breathe out, suck your stomach in towards your spine. And then when you breathe in, use those muscles that you just brought your stomach in with to pull it out. And in doing that, you're opening your diaphragm and allowing oxygen to come into your lungs. And you might have to do that for a while before it starts to become an automatic process. It can take years to learn to breathe correctly because you've probably been breathing incorrectly, or let's say inefficiently, for your whole life. I've been breathing with my abdomen since I was a kid because I did martial arts with this psycho who would step on my stomach even though I was in 4th grade and he was 240 pounds, and he would just push down with his foot on my stomach, and I had to breathe with my stomach. And if I didn't do it well, he would hit me on the head with a wooden, like a bamboo stick, essentially. It was unpleasant, but it benefited me in the end, I guess. I mean, maybe. Who knows? Doesn't matter now. So that's what we want to focus on. We want to focus on our breath, and we want to breathe properly. If you start to feel lightheaded or anything like that while you're trying to breathe, just let go and breathe normally. You don't want to pass out. If you feel like you're going to pass out, then you are probably doing it wrong or you're sick. And we don't want either of those. Your lungs are fragile, and believe it or not, they are important because you need to breathe. So do what you can to not destroy your lungs, I guess. And then finally, there's the physical posture of meditation, how we sit. Some people sit in a chair, some people sit on a cushion. I sit in a cushion. There are different postures: Burmese, full lotus, half lotus, crisscross applesauce, whatever. The important thing is that you keep your back relatively straight. Just follow the natural curve of your back and relax your shoulders. That's pretty much the physical posture of it. You can Google what those look like because I didn't think ahead and I didn't bring my cushion out here to show you. So you can figure that out. Personally, I sit in half lotus on my cushion. I can sit full lotus, but it makes one of my knees stiff, so I don't always do that. I usually sit in half lotus, and I can sit like that for quite a while. You can also sit seiza, but most people use a stool for that because, seiza can be uncomfortable for many people, especially in the West. Anyways, that is the posture of zazen, of meditation. Give it a try. I hope it works for you. It may take a little while before you start to see the major benefits of it, but there are definite benefits from it. Just keep it up, do your best. Even if you can only do 2 minutes at first, that's perfect. In fact, that is ideal. Just keep striving to meditate. And don't be like, oh, I'm going to reach this goal. Just meditate until you can't meditate anymore. Just sit. That's it. What else is there to say? Remember to like and subscribe to your own well-being and your mental health and all of that good shit. Get nice and strong. psychologically. That's all I got. Thanks for tuning in.